right off the morning, and there's some volatility included in the activity because of the unemployment number. There's going to be some volatility there. We always talk about being careful there around trading volatility. It all depends on your risk tolerance, right? And those are the things that you have to consider here when you're trading. Any normal, whatever that means, kind of day. Lately, it's been normal in the sense that it's been very, very slow and quiet. We're looking for about 2 or 3 points that these days, probably with the volatility and activity that we've been getting here, we're looking more at around, I would say, probably 4 or 5. But in either case, you're always keeping your stops in place and trading according to your risk tolerance, not somebody else's. So keep that in mind. If you're
First bar on the market open was down hard.
On the upside 50s. On the upside.
So that's weird, right? Because it looked like it was going lower, and now it's popping up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it went up nicely.
The volatility is a little bit too
Then
great for you.
The first trade out of the gate, right, on the, after the open, was
Markets
down.
have settled down and slow they can get. Either way, just keep your stops in place. If you want to wait for
I mean,
the
it could
first
be
couple bars to kind of play themselves out, totally get it.
Yeah.
There's a little some volatility in the first couple bars that we always talk about, it, especially when the 53 on the downside. We're probably looking at about 4 or 5.
You got that right.
At this point, with the volatility that's in the market right now, and also profit targets. Right. Again, the market here is reacting to unemployment, which is always injection of volatility. And if we want to wait for the first couple bars to play themselves out, I totally understand. And see where the market takes us from there. Right. We always talk about that. And you have to understand what I try to explain risk all the time, and I try to make you aware of risks, and that's what we try to do here. We try to minimize that as much as possible, but it all depends on your risk tolerance as a trader. If anybody has any questions, welcome some of you folks that are here. We like questions, and we welcome them. Just let us know. Just put them in the chat, and we'll get them answered for you. All right, we're just kind of continue to drift down here. Again, make sure you keep your stops in place. There are the levels on the chat for you. And in written form, again, using your risk tolerance, depending on how much risk you want to take, how you scale in, how you scale out, all of these things are part of trading as an individual trader. You have to understand your risk tolerance and trade it accordingly. All right, so we're continue to drift down here. Again, keep your stops in place. So hopefully you're not, you got stopped out there probably against the 95 area. Now we're looking down here at 83 again. The market here is got different views of how to handle risk, right? Or different views of how to handle numbers more than anything else. The numbers are coming out. Some of them seem good, but then the market breaks. So that's because the market is really what the Fed chair said last week is definitely on the minds of the market and how it's going to handle good news versus bad news. I mean, good news means that probably the risk is there for the market, for the Fed to increase rates, right? That's what good news means. And unfortunately, it's kind of counterintuitive to how the market moves, especially because we're in this like weird situation right now where the market's reacting to all kinds of news and trying to decipher what the Fed is going to do. So this is why it's a tricky time to trade. You can understand. But just play, find the areas that you think will work and then trade them accordingly and keep your stops in place. That's all we can do. So that's correct.
Right, but what I guess what I'm saying is
it's the level of support here is down at the 83. Again, keeping our stops in place. We're not loving any trades we put on.
Exactly the same data or information. And then we can have a second
we'll see how the market reacts around that level.
It is related to performance, but this account service fee doesn't apply to the other two.
Well,
Do you see what
factory orders at
But I don't know if it has to.
at 9 o'clock. So small little number coming up here at 9 o'clock. And I'll be reacting to our bend area there. There are levels we gave out in addition to price action opportunities. So there are a couple ways of trading this. We're also looking at momentum trades when the market sets itself up for that situation. And then we just let the market kind of dictate where we're going to go next, right? We're not trying to guess the direction or anything like that. All we're trying to do is stop finding levels that we believe the market will give us an opportunity to scalp the trade and make a little bit of money on it. Again, the added volatility because of unemployment. Obviously, there is a lot more movement and faster movement, so you have to take that into consideration if you're trading. And again, if the movement is too fast or too quick, then just patience is important. The market can settle down a little bit as it absorbs the unemployment number. U.S. economy is giving off mixed signals this year, with the GDP falling for 2 straight quarters, while demand for workers outstrips supply. Doug Powell has repeatedly called for a labor market unusually strong in recent months, while his comments at Jackson Hole last Friday sent markets into a tailspin. Today's non-farm payroll is set to be released already. It will be the next data point the central bank will be looking at for deciding monetary policy in September, and investors will be on the edge for most of today's session before heading into the holiday weekend. That's right. Monday, obviously, is going to trade in the United States because of Labor Day. Again, if you did trade or do them there, you do okay. We got down to the 85 and change there, so be a little bit careful and trade the 83. Bigger picture, economists are expecting 300,000 were added in August, down from the 528,000 last month, while the unemployment rate expected to be 50-year low at 3.5. A strong job shows means that the FOMC policymakers will likely be considering 75 basis points increase later this month as they seek to tamp down demand and control inflation while the labor market is strong. As we kind of bounce off of our blue band area there, again, there's different price action opportunities in there, and all depends on your risk tolerance. So, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. We welcome questions, and no mind questions whatsoever. And we try to explain the methodology as much as we can. We also have an education course that teaches the methodology, where to find levels, how to understand why they work, how to understand when they don't work. We tweak them a little bit based on the price action. All these things, just because we give you levels doesn't mean that they're etched in stone, right? We can always adjust those levels based on price action in any given moment, especially if you're trading futures and anything could happen in any given moment. So I would say be a little bit careful there around the 83 if you are looking at the 83 as our next support level.
I mean, I guess theoretically we could make this one an exception, but
if the consensus among economists is close to correct, the number of jobs added in August would be the lowest in over a year. Said the same time, some economists. Also comes out of the hiring gains averaged 471,000 per month this year, which is still strong compared to pre-pandemic levels. For example, from January 19 to January 20, the U.S. economy only added 170 jobs per month. So it's kind of interesting how these job numbers are kind of way over. And so this number today also came out stronger.
So, away with doing it, but a hypothesis is he's going to say it really should be a higher pixels. And if that's the case, then we're going to have to break it up.
We're coming down here to the 83 area again, be a little bit mindful of the added volatility there because of where the market traded first time down to it.
I don't expect us to be able to do all that. Yeah. Are they all the same say like expense ratio, and if that's the case, I'm wondering if it's the same content in each one of them, and not 100%, right? Because it's but like that standard performance, is that in each one of those ones? There might be some reusability here, is all I'm thinking.
Yeah, and you
Okay, head down.
What's on your Truth Social feed? Anything juicy coming out?
Consideration.
I haven't looked at that,
84 area. A little bit of a bounce
So
up.
perhaps it's
but
not.
I know it's growing.
Maybe it's really
Perfect.
like a combination.
Rumble's doing really well.
Maybe there's like 10 or something, hopefully, I'm just guessing, but. Yeah, let's think about those three. If there's any other solutions, like you said, perhaps we don't get the pixel size. Is there anything else we can come up with to make the implementation slightly easier on those three?
Again,
But we know
always
like
volatility when
all
the
this, we're
market opens up
gonna have to
at
break up
8:30,
into
start trading at
different
8:30.
content.
It's when
I'm definitely open to
the
suggestions.
signs of the big S&P that used to be trading on the floor, but now they obviously don't trade that. So a lot of traders kind of wait for that
Yeah,
8:30
a couple people too,
bar,
like,
and
you
the
know,
volatility
there might
comes
be other people that have some
comes
ideas that can
flowing
help
into
handle it.
the market.
Sounds good.
Bonds here kind of rotating a level, and we will notice the bonds are trading the D's contract now. So probably be trading D's here in the needs in about a week or so. Again, we warned you about the 83 there being a little bit more suspect because of the price action move prior to that. So you can take that into consideration in trading. How do you take that into consideration? You can adjust your entry point a little lower. You could cancel your orders. You could, if you're trading multiple contracts, you can lessen the number of contracts that you're trading. Different ways of managing risk and handling the trade once you see the price action and how it reacts at a level or a price, and trade it accordingly to your risk tolerance. If anybody has any questions, again, feel free to ask them.
Average expense ratio, yep, so average expense ratio of similar funds derived
So
from data
again,
provided by
market
Morningstar.
varies.
So it's just saying that
To deal with
particular data point,
fallout from
the average expense
phone
ratio
number,
comes from
this
Morningstar.
might be considered with leaf rally here.
That's right.
We'll see. You can see it's probably get it back that 20 website there.
Good morning.
Positive. This is still
Just you and
a constant situation.
What's that?
This is.
Not
Oh,
mine.
that was mine.
Okay.
You take it out.
No, I
It's
have
all,
another, no, I have another one here.
but it's fully charged, Dan.
No, there's two
It
right
was
here.
just there overnight.
I can do one here. It's cold.
It's a small number.
Yeah, I think it's cold outside, right, today?
It's supposed to get warmer than that.
We have 60s.
I'm gonna go to the beach today.
Much of the market, but that's the only thing that's coming out.
So what a difference a day makes on the market,
Oh, boy.
right? 4 days, 5 days.
It's coming back. It's all completely back.
So Bitcoin came back over 20 nicely, and Ethereum was up to 1,630.
I've thrown my ass fuck at it. This is it. We're back. There is no recession. We're not going down ever again. Now, I keep telling you,
I'm buying.
it's a
right?
fucking head fake, and yet every day you see it tick up a point, you're like, hey,
Did you see I hit the buy button?
we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back.
I hit the buy button, buy button. You know, I was just sitting there going like this. Should I buy it? Should I buy it? You said we're back, and I went, ping,
Buy it.
right?
Buy
I
it.
bought it.
Buy it, Congressman.
Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. VIX yesterday was 25, today it's 24. Yes. Obviously with the rally yesterday afternoon, and then information out here this morning. They did some kind of simple volatility in the market, right?
Link. Chain link. 717.
717, wasn't that what he bought in at?
Well, I don't know.
So we'll see.
But I mean, it was as high as 9 and as low as 6.
Okay,
You know, recently.
It is what it is.
okay.
But that's not bad then.
Talk about it.
I don't think he's losing anything.
Yeah, but it's coming back.
It's back,
Back.
back in spades.
It's back and it's back.
Be patient and wait for opportunities. Using the levels we gave out. If you look at the chat, you'll see the levels that we gave out this morning. Again, we use them as a guide to the day. We can tweak those, we can add to them, subtract them. Again, there's nothing here is etched in stone. We are trading futures. Right? There's a lot of volatility. We have to be patient and wait for the market to give us those opportunities to trade. So the 83, depending on how you enter, to hopefully minimum of 45 minutes stop because of volatility in the market. As you can see, we are definitely getting those stops and rotations. So it's not like that number we are get them.
Thank you. Did you hear from, she didn't respond?
Down at the 75 area. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. All right, so they're bouncing here off of, we have the 83 area there. They head back to the 80 there. Trying to bounce up here a little bit. pivots on the upside. Nice rotation there against the 83 level that we had. This is we have expanded there a little bit, taking a little bit more than 4 or 5 points on your trades, depending on how you manage those trades. Swiftly, got rid of the 95 there. So, yeah, very volatile, and that continues. Yeah, that's 315 pounds in this market, which is reacting to again. Expect 290 something, and off of the last month's 526, I think it was. So obviously, I guess maybe it's down a little bit. It's good. It's a little better than expected, but it wasn't blowing. So, and the unemployment rate did rise up to 3.7%. They were expecting 3.5. So maybe kind of a little bit better. I also mentioned a lot of other companies that are laying off people. So it's not good.
Brad, I'm gonna put this
Something
on your door knob.
Grace, thank you very much.
Thanks, Don, for helping me out the last couple of days. I appreciate it. Good days. So the question is, you only play the levels, trade the levels once, or they're good for a second trade. It depends on it depends on the price action actually. Most of the time, I would say that once the level gets triggered and the market has tested it, and it's probably not going to be a strong level of second rotation down, because the price action that's being created around that level the second time around is different than the price action as it was created the first time we got to it. So consequently, the level of how good or bad the level is going to be determined by the price action. Now, it's not always the case, but I would say a good chunk of the time, it's not going to be a good retest. That's not always the case. There's always going to be outliers, obviously, and we try to point those out to sometimes they occur. All right, we're just kind of hanging here, both sides of the band there. So, which means that the number that we are kind of trying to figure out what it wants to do next. we're just kind of, again, both sides are blue bands, so kind of deciding how it wants to go forward. And so now we have to be a little bit patient. We have to wait for opportunities. I know sometimes the feel or the wanting to do is to trade because you see the numbers are flipping back and forth. But where to get in, how to get in, why to get in is very important. We're always looking for reasons to enter trades instead of just start trading. Consequently, you're going to have to show some patience and wait for opportunities there. And that way, you don't get caught up in the chop and get in at the wrong time. And even though we don't know when the right time is, we're always keeping our stops in place. So if you are going to trade the range game, or if you're going to trade any trade that you see that have a reason to trade, and after that, make sure you keep your stop in place. Bonds here coming back a little bit very nicely here. I mean, they're a 134 handle, 160. You're trading at yield probably about 3.5% of it, over 3.5% of the 10. So a bit of a problem there as far as, and I think this was the major driver, or at least the market, as the bond market is always telling me that it looks like we're going to definitely be 75 basis points. The bond market, when we were having our rally here over the last month or so, was definitely indicating that the market was going to probably look at 50 basis points. But since the speech of last week, those ideas kind of evaporated quickly, and the yield on the bonds went up, prices go down. You can see, we were trading at a 137, 38 handle, way down to we're down to 132, 3 handle. So definitely his speech has ignited a little volatility in the bond market, and basically telling you that we're definitely looking at 3/4 instead of just a 50% basis point hike. So the market, this outlook on the numbers probably kept everybody a little bit happy. The economic factor, as far as the economy is concerned, solid job growth creation, which is, and still good labor participation. A lot of that is going to help. Happy that it wasn't like another 500 number, but there was an uptick in the unemployment rate. So there's that's a positive sign. All right, we continue to down to the lows, back to the lows there, looking probably right now at the 75 area is our next support area. Whatever the situation is, keep your stop in place, and we adjust our stops based on volatility, right? I mean, right now we're 4 to 5 points, and we have been as high as 10 when COVID was hitting, 3 years back. Then we usually go back to 2 or 3 when things are quote unquote normal, and if we can come down here to our 75 area. Again, it's an area, right? It's not perfect, so you're going to have to, kind of manage those trades accordingly. We got down here to 75, see what it wants to do. And either way, just keep your stop in place. The rotation there against the 75 area. Again, scaling in if you get down on the lower end, maybe you're taking some profits off. If you're trading multiple contracts, all the things are dependent on you as a trader. Bonds there continue to rally, and it's interesting concept there, right? Pushing here in the highs, negative highs here. Yeah, working 75. Again, you have choices here as to how to manage your trades. If you're trading multiple contracts, you can exit some for a little bit of profit, let some trade if you don't like the price action around the level. And everybody trades a little bit differently. You have to know your risk tolerance and trade it accordingly.
Hey.
So nice little pump there against the 75 area. Again, if you trade it down a little, scaled in a little bit, you're exiting some of these lower scales, like below, especially if you don't like the price action around the level. We would like it to pop really quick. Sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have to work the order. Again, the market, how it's reacting, and then everybody manages it a little bit differently. If you don't like the way it's trading, you're given choices here. So, and we are trying to manage. Sometimes it's easy to manage a trade. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, especially if it kind of gravitates and hangs there. So everybody handles these kinds of things differently. You just have to know your risk tolerance and handle it accordingly. And we're getting a nice little pump here finally against our 75. So a nice little trade there for you. Nice little rotation here against our 75 area. Just got down to 73 and change and pop right back up. So not a big deal as far as managing it on the downside. Like I said, sometimes it's easier than other times, and sometimes it just works quicker. Sometimes you have to just be a little bit patient.
Oh.
All right, nice trade there against our 75 area. Let's see here. Let me give you some lows here below below 53. We've got 53, and we've got 40, 29, 21, and 13. So below 53, and 40, 29, 21, 13. Again, we don't know which way the markets are going. I'm not saying the market's going to continue to go down. I'm just saying that we have to add some more levels to the downside baseline. So don't read anything into that just because they give you levels to the downside. And we're trying not to trade, not to have an opinion, I should say. Keeps us out of trouble. And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Any questions? Nice rotation there against our 75. If you have any extra contracts maybe, or managing it a little bit. So, nice little trade. Hang in there with it.
Morning.
Hey, Sam.
Good morning, Cynthia. What's going on?
Well, not with you, honey.
I was just waiting for you to get rolling today.
I was working.
Oh,
I
you said you
had a
didn't have
contract
one?
signed.
Oh.
I had to get that done.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm psyched.
Hey, what's going on over there? Take it easy.
Psyched.
This is a PG show. Jeez. See that now? Crazy stuff is going on here. I leave for one day and everything's gone down that fast.
Oh, boy.
Six, I think they might push a little bit up to six.
You had it down?
Yeah, are you gonna come with me?
Sure.
Six there for us to push. August 6th, sure.
Would you just move chairs?
Fun. Funny one.
I am.
Excuse me. And then see if we can get that to push higher.
Well, what are you doing? It's 10:12, I wanna go. Oh, good. Is it the same one?
Yeah, we'll get, maybe you'll look at it.
Well,
It's a church seat. But it's,
Well, let's just wait until we get home, okay, so we can see what the other one is.
I wanna get one with it today. But Hey, Sid, why don't you get the car ready? I'm gonna go up and get, take my pills and I'll be back.
Nice little valley here. But hold on, I look at that situation to put 90 and a half. And if you're looking for price action plays, something 4 or 5 point stops are a little bit different. You're not looking at 4 or 5 point stops. Quick scalping out.
There's all hands over here.
Or, steer them towards the boat zapper.
Where did the bugs go?
They drop on the bottom, yeah.
Again, it's a little push down. That's where I put down there and rotate it off the house. Six, came back down to change and back up. A little bit bullish here. No reason. There against the band area and the rotation back.
You guys going to get a little something to eat? that funny. It wasn't that funny.
No, Mike. Spit with you. Now I'm gonna go into town, I need to go to Blue Mercury.
Okay.
Do you need anything while I'm out?
No, thank you.
Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Anything the next day is from trade they're concerned, it's part of our education course that we're talking about. We're going to show you why these trades are there, what they should be looking for, how to manage them according to risk tolerance. Everybody here has different risk tolerances.
Think we need a sweatshirt? The market collapses, the market goes up, the market collapses, the market goes up. Any more? Right? Yeah, okay.
I heard it last night.
I did too. I have to say, it really has changed the,
Do you have the car keys?
no. I have a set of car keys.
Good morning, Ann, how are you? I'm going into town, do you need anything? Okay.
Again, we had 11 price action to tell you what to do.
Bye.
See you later.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.